Hey guys, and welcome back to a new episode of Okay, I Said Too Much podcast. A new episode for the first time in a year. Y'all, 2024 has been crazy. If you would have told the Deadra that I was when I recorded the last episode, if you would have told her what happened in 2024 and that she did not post a podcast episode all of 2024, she would have been like, you're lying. But I'm not lying. I'm just want to go over a few housekeeping things before we get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. So just bear with me. If you want to hear everything that's going on this past year, it's coming. Just bear with me. I just want to go over a few things first. I have a new recording spot. If you want to see what it looks like, go to the I Said Too Much podcast Instagram. It's istm.podcast on Instagram. I have a whole new setup, a whole new location of where I'm recording. So I'm actually recording at my parents' house. They have an extra bedroom that has this little nook, and it's perfect because all of their walls are that agreeable gray color. So it's a perfect, nice, smooth background. We're not doing the closet episodes anymore, even though I love those. I thought that was such a cool, quirky background, and the audio would be crisp on those. So I am sitting by a window. You guys know I try to edit out as much extra noise as possible. The editing should be great. So the next thing is I am pre-recording a lot of episodes. I have now realized we'll get more into this later on the episode, why I stopped recording in 2024. It's just a lot of work. It's a second full-time job once you add in the hours of social media, recording, all the things you have to do, planning episodes, researching episodes. There's a couple episodes I want to research. So I'm doing a lot of pre-recording. So I'm going to be restructuring the episodes. I don't know exactly how that's going to look just yet. So bear with me these next couple of episodes. It's going to take some time to get it completely how I want it to be. So like I said, bear with me. It's just not going to be as up to date. It's not going to be as current. So there will probably not be a weekly update anymore. We'll probably just hop into episodes, hop into topics. There's still going to be a song of the week. I'll go back to updating the playlist, but it's going to be a little more getting into the nitty gritty of things than fluff. We're not going to be just talking about my life this whole podcast anymore. We're going to really get into the topics, get into the things, and go from there. And so with the pre-recording, I think the editing will be awesome. So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, I feel so good to be behind the mic again. I am a little congested. My niece was like every other child on Christmas, sick as hell. And I'm recording this after Christmas. So that is one thing. If I do get sick, you're going to have multiple episodes of me sounding a little bit sick, a little bit under the weather. But I also think pre-recording is nice because there's 2 weeks. I'll have 2 weeks of just being able to record in chunks as I go. The only way coming back to the podcast was going to be feasible was if I pre-recorded episodes. And so it's a little less stressful that way. So yeah, we're 4 minutes in. So let me just jump right in. Let's get right in to the meat and potatoes, guys. So I have a podcast planned for this episode. I have notes. I don't know how much I'll go off of just notes. I'm trying out a new setup of the podcast. So I'm going to try to do that here too. So let's jump right in. 2024, y'all. Happy New Year, because this episode comes out on January 1st. Happy New Year. I can't wait to see what 2025 has in store for not only me, but for us. I'm going to ramp up social media to be as super interactive as possible. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what's going on. I want us to be besties. I think that is one element I just felt was really missing from the podcast previously. I want us to feel like we're on a FaceTime call talking about things that have happened, what's going on day to day. And that is what I have in store for 2025 for the podcast. I just want it to be very personable. Girl, did you hear what happened? I want it to feel like that. As we go along, I don't want to just be behind this mic talking about my life and talking about things I have going on. I really want to hone in on trending topics and what's been happening. 2024 was crazy. I have so many topics that I want to cover from 2024, but I don't want it to be like super, super dated, but it's going to be good things that are like very continuous. So I'm like I'm so excited. Like the episodes I have planned, y'all. Oh, chef's kiss. My creative juices, once I found a new spot for the podcast where I'm recording, my creative juices just started flowing and I just really got into it. So I'm super excited. Let's just jump right in. Happy New Year. I hope everyone had an amazing Christmas. I haven't talked to you guys since 2023. A lot has happened. So this first part, I'm going to make as short and sweet as possible because I don't want this to get like super deep, super dark, super sad for the first episode back. But yeah, so my father passed at the beginning of 2024 in February, and yeah, it rocked my whole entire world. Me and my mom, my sister basically had to shift our whole world around. Like, my mom is definitely the glue that holds the family together, but I would say my dad's like the rock. And so like when you lose your anchor, you lose your rock, you just feel like you're floating in space. And I feel like the first 8 months of 2020, that is the whole year. But yeah, like I would say until about September, I felt like I was just floating in space, like just going through the motions, not really I had no aspirations. Like life was just life. I need to have a plan for anything. Like all my plans like had just poofed and just went nowhere. There was nothing on my mind. I say it all the time, no thoughts, no vibes. But like when I tell you like the last few months of my life, no thoughts, no vibes, like just taking it day by day, hour by hour. Some days like there was just like this void. I feel, and see, this is why I don't want to talk about this too much. I feel like some people you won't understand until you lose a parent. It's like my father and like what he's been through in life, what he went through in life shaped me and made me who I am as a person. Like my father 100% is the reason I am the way I am today. Like things that he's taught me, advice that he's giving me, is just like nothing. Like of course my mom is my mom and like I'm a daughter, so like I have that like connection there too. But the things that he taught me, the wisdom that he gave me, like nothing is like when you lose the person that shapes you and makes you who you are, you lose your shape. Like he literally shaped me. Not being able to pick his brain or have his advice or go to him for things has been the most insane. I can't even put it into words how insane that is for me to say. Even just recording at their house right now is insane, because if he was here, I probably wouldn't be, like, because y'all get stage fright. So just to know someone else was in the house, like I would not be able to do this. But it's just, I'm rambling. I'm trying to follow a plan, but this part is going to be a little scatterbrained, a little all over the place. But when you lose the person that shapes you, there's just, like I said, we were just floating. There was a very good, like I said, I really do feel like till August, September, we were just floating. Like things just didn't seem right. Like wins didn't feel like wins. Like it's hard to say this, but like to even celebrate the people around you in your life just feels like, does it really matter? Because for me, it didn't matter. Like nothing felt real. Like I said, wins didn't feel like wins. Just good things didn't feel like good things. Thankfully, Christmas for me really felt like Christmas and it was a good time. But I have just scaled back so much of who I am as a person since it has happened. Like I just don't think the same. I don't make decisions the same way. Like I don't have the same interest. Like for me, 2024, like it was just like I need to be at home. I need to be with my family. I need to be with the people who are like grounding me the most right now, because like I said, I felt like I was just floating in air, and that just became the most important thing for me. Like I didn't want to go above and beyond. I didn't want to work late. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do that. I needed to spend as much time with my family as possible. I needed to tell them I love them every single day. It felt like I just needed to be home. Like I needed to be centered. I needed to be grounded in a sense. Just like I said, like certain interests, like I've always had an issue of I don't like being seen, or I don't like to be perceived online in a certain way. Like I don't want people too tapped in to what I'm doing. And that's like why I'm making a change with the podcast now, where I don't want to just be sitting on this podcast talking about my life nonstop, because it's like, you do not need to be that tuned in with what the fuck I got going on anymore. Like it just didn't feel like, I just feel like after a really big loss, a lot of things just don't feel genuine anymore. And that was like the hardest thing. Grief puts a certain lens on your life, and you're like, this does not, like you literally go through this phase of nothing feels genuine. None of these people feel genuine. I don't care what you have going on. I don't care. Like it's just such a weird phase of life to go through, to lose a parent, because it's like just nothing compares to that. Nothing compares to losing someone who spent 30 years of his life raising me. Just nothing felt real anymore. Nothing felt genuine anymore. So it was just like, there was a lot of times where I would look at things and experience things and be like, what is the point? What is the absolute point? There is no point. Most of the time, y'all, there really is no point. Like there really, like I know I probably sound like a crazy person, but that's just how it felt. Like there was no point to anything. So it just makes you reevaluate your whole life, your whole way of thinking. Like you become a different person. Like grief hardens you in a way that you just like can't really explain to people, especially when it's a parent. When it's a parent and someone who was there for you through thick and thin, someone who wanted nothing but the best for you all the time, like it is a different kind of hurt, a different kind of pain, and it just shapes you into a completely different person. I am a completely different person than I was a year ago. No, I do not go through life with rose-colored glasses anymore. I am like 100% a realist now. And I'm still very optimistic, but I'm 100% a realist now. Like it has completely changed how I see things. I will say the best thing that came out of it is I'm so aware of my health now. Like I exercise almost daily. Like I eat right. I'm on a weight loss journey right now. I'm down 21 pounds. That's probably the best thing that came out of it. Also, I feel like my family is like even closer now. And this is going to segue into my next topic that I want to talk about today. And when you see the title of this episode, you're going to get where I'm going with all of this. So I saw a TikTok. I think it was like March of this year. March of 2024. Okay. You guys are listening to this in 2025, so it's like messing me up. But March of 2024, I saw a TikTok and it completely changed my way of thinking. This lady is talking to her daughters and her daughters' friends, and people will always tell you what to look for in a significant other. They're always going to say you should look for like money or this or that. If you plan on marrying someone for the rest of and being with someone for the rest of your life, you have to look at marriage differently. And she was basically like teaching them, you have to look at marriage in a way of who can help you through grief. Like you have to, she was like, be real. She was like, this person is going to be around when your parents die, when your grandparents die, if you still have them. Who can get you through tough moments like that? When you cannot carry the weight, who can carry the weight for you? And it just clicked something in my head. So me and my ex ran into each other in 2023. We were like in contact in 2023, and like going into 2024, he was like one of the first people I called when I found out my dad passed. He was there for everything. And I think the biggest part of him being there was he made me feel normal. There was a sense of normalcy with him that I wasn't getting with anyone else. Like he would just talk to me like, how was work? How was your day? It wasn't, how are you feeling? Like, how are you doing? How's your mom? Like, It was just like, we're going to have regular conversation. It's like he knew exactly what I needed without ever having to tell him. And I think that means more to me than anything else. That washes away anything that anyone has ever done to me when you can be there for me in such a hard time. 24/7, 365. I called that man 3 weeks ago crying because I couldn't talk to my dad because I wanted to tell my dad something. And he still just sits on the phone and lets me cry. And it's nothing to him. Like, he would do it like 3 times over. If I called that man crying every single day, he would be there for me every single day. Like, he's there for my family. Like, it just was like anything that had ever happened in the past didn't matter because I had him. Honestly, like, grief is so hard, but when you find someone that makes it so easy, you have to hold on to that person and just cherish them. And like I said, it just erased any doing from the past. Like, I didn't give a shit about anything after that point. Like, seeing how he just stepped up from the beginning, was there. Like, whatever you need, call me anytime. I'm leaving like my ringer on. Like, it was just, and you could probably listen to that and be like, that is literally the bare minimum. But after going through all of 2024, that is not the bare minimum, and people do not do that. One thing grief will teach you is that eventually people stop calling. Eventually people stop coming around. Eventually people are just like, okay, my life's going great, so can you celebrate all my wins no matter what you're going through? And that was like the hardest part to witness happen in your life. Like, people being like, you need to still celebrate my wins no matter what you're going through, no matter how down you feel. I still need you there for my wins. And that was like one of those things that just took me off guard. That's why you really do need to find someone who can handle grief with you. This man didn't even make me celebrate. So his birthday and my dad's birthday are like days apart. And he was like, we're not doing anything for my birthday. Like, he like had to force me to be like, you will not do anything for me for my birthday. Because he knew that week was going to be hard for me. And that spoke volumes. Whatever I wanted to do for my birthday this year, he did it. He does not drink. He's completely sober. He was like, do you want to go to a bar? Do you want to go out dancing? Do you want to do this? Just because maybe I wanted to do that. And I wanted to have some sense of like normalcy for my birthday. He came over and had cake and everything with my family the weekend before. It was just like a different type of care and a different type of love. And I'm like, baby, we're locked in. Me and that man are locked in for the rest of our lives. Like, it just, like, you never know how much you need someone in those moments to be. Like I said, my dad was my rock. And no one will ever replace that feeling for me, but my boyfriend now is my rock. I go to him for normalcy. I go to him to be grounded. I go to him for advice, questions, things about life. It was very nice to have someone step in and be like, I know what you need, and I'm going to give that to you. And it was just like, no questions asked. The biggest thing is that grief comes in waves, and it is the hardest part of this year that I've had to come over. What am I saying? The hardest part of this year that I had to get over was that I could still be happy. I had to literally rewire my way of thinking to be like, I could still be happy. There were so many things that I would do this year and I would be happy about. And then I would be like, wait, no, you can't be happy because you're grieving. You can't be like, this is like, it was such a like tug and pull of this is the best year. I'm having the best year, but I'm also having the worst year, and having to process all those emotions and having to work through that was insane. Nothing in life can prepare you for that. Nothing in life, because it is a constant tug of war with your emotions. Like, you want to celebrate things, you want to be happy about things, and you want to be happy for other people, but it's like you're grieving at the same time, and that grieving's never going to go away. Like, it never gets, like, it just dulls over time. I saw someone say that, like, grief just gets, and then you'll have days where it's like sharp, just like that first day. And so it was like, it would get dull, and then I would have a day and it would be sharp, and it would be like, you know what? Like, why are you happy? Why are you having a good time? And so that was another thing. Like, I just wanted to like just be by myself, because it was like, I think one thing I can admit about myself is if I'm having a bad time, it is hard for me to still celebrate the people around me. I have quite a few people in my life that are like, I think they can understand that. Like, they can be like, yeah, I get it. This is tough. And then you can have the people who are so tunnel vision on their own life, where they can't see that maybe she doesn't want to do this. Maybe she doesn't want to do that. But it goes back to what I said previously. Eventually, everyone stops calling. Eventually, everyone stops. The hardest part, this will be like my second hardest part of grief. And this is the thing that I think it took me the longest to get used to, is that first people walk on eggshells around you, and it's just like tiptoeing. They don't know what to say, especially if you've never been in that situation. I get that. I get not knowing what to say to someone, because it's like, you've never done this. My best grief conversations were with other people who have experienced the same type of grief. Like, they know how to have the conversations with you. But it's like, first people walk on eggshells around you, and then people just don't walk around you anymore, because it's like they're sick. It's like, I wouldn't say they're sick, but it's like it's also emotionally draining to walk on eggshells around someone. So it's like, first it's that, and then it's that. Like, it's easier for me not to reach out because I don't know what to say than to reach out and be weird. If you've seen the title of this podcast episode, it is Grief, Boyfriends, and Friendships. And this year taught me so much about friendship. And this year taught me so much about the people that I had around me, and the people who are best friends and acquaintances. Like, and it's okay. Like, I think the thing you learn at 30 is like, it's okay if not everyone makes it to the end of the line with you. Everyone needs to grow, and sometimes that means growing in different directions. I've said this on past podcast episodes. Family grows apart, friends grow apart. The only person in your life that is signing literally a legal binding document to grow in the same direction with you is a husband. But it's like, you can definitely see like the people who value you, and the people who are just like, you've been on the ride this long, so maybe you should just stay on the ride. And it's like, I don't want to stay on anyone's ride just because you think I paid a lifetime ticket. Like, they're like, no, if I don't need to stay on the ride. Like, it's okay to let me get off the ride. I'd like, you don't have to have any allegiances to anyone. Like, it is okay. I think I figured that out. There's a friend, ex-friend, we're not friends anymore. We had been friends since the second grade. I did not make a big deal about posting that my father had died on social media, because that's just not who I am. But my sister did do a post because she felt called to. Cool, do that. And this friend commented on that post and said like her condolences, cool, but did not reach out to me personally. And to me in your head, or to you in your head, you could be like, okay, that's not really that big of a deal. That's not that crazy. If we have been friends since second grade and you see something like that, I feel like that's still something you should reach out about. I would still contact someone in such a way if they knew that information about me. But it's like, at the same time, like I said, like I've learned, is I don't need a lifetime ticket to the ride. I don't want to be on any roller coaster that freaking long anyway. And I think that was like the best thing I learned this year. It's if people are not going to make me feel important, then come on now. And I think too, this conversation actually gets talked about a lot on social media, but in a different way, when it's like, when you're the single friend, okay? And I'm just using this as an example because I'm not single, okay? But when you're the single friend and you go to all the bridal showers, baby showers, bachelorette trips, weddings, you spend all the money and you do all this, what do single friends get in return? And it's like, I saw a TikTok about this that was like, oh, you have birthdays. Like, my friends that like have done all that for me. Like I go all out for their birthday, or I try, or any win. Like a lot of the people commenting, I saw the TikTok, there was a TikTok about it, and then there was like people like posted to Twitter to get people's opinions on it. And then how do you show up for those friends who have shown up for you in all those like places of life, bought you gifts, done the whole thing? And a lot of people were like, birthdays, like that is how I show up for that friend that has shown up for me. Like I make a huge deal on birthdays or any of her wins, like whether it's like career wise or anything. That is how I show up for those friends that have shown up for me. And then it's like, you have the people who believe that's just the natural progression of life. If you're my friend, those are that's just what it is. But it's just like, a lot of people believe, okay, that's the natural progression of life. That's the next step. Like, then it shouldn't be like, oh, get me back. Like, I went to your wedding, get me back. Got you a wedding gift, get me back. And there shouldn't be like a monetary value on friendship. Of course not. That would be crazy. But in a relation to grief, I have been there and done so much for you. And in the hardest times of hardest times. I'm actually gonna, let me not. I have great people in my life, and I'm very thankful for the great people in my life, but I will be honest, grief has taught me I don't need a lifetime ticket. I don't need to be there for everything. I don't need to celebrate everything if I don't want to celebrate it. One thing no one can say about me in 2024 is that I was not there celebrating the people I loved, my friends. You cannot say I did not do in 2024, which was one of the hardest years of my life. You cannot say that I did not show up for everybody in that situation. You can't say that. But I will say, if you ever go through grief, it's going to teach you so much about the people in your life, and you will be shocked and you will be heartbroken. My heart has broken more than a few times this year with the way people will treat you during the toughest time, the toughest year of your life. But yeah, that's been 2024. It was a fun one. Wouldn't do it again. Looking forward to 2025 for sure. Next episode, I'm going to get into like my goals and like what I want for this year and all that jazz. Y'all, we have so much to talk about that happened this year. The election, Love is Blind UK, Love Island USA season 6. Are we okay after 2024? Everything I've been through aside, are we okay after 2024? I was thinking about that because I'm looking at the list of like things that I'm like, okay, these things happened in 2024. Like I need to get to them on the podcast. Are we okay? Are you okay? We had a lot of wins this year. Like I said, 3 black girls won reality dating TV shows this summer. What's those shows? Love Island USA, Serena, Mimi, Love Island UK, and I'm blanking on the name in the show. It's not Are You the One? It's a Netflix reality dating show where they bring back people from all the Netflix dating shows. Oh, I'm blanking. Perfect Match. A black woman won Perfect Match. Like, we're gonna up this year. But are we okay? 2024 was crazy. 2024 felt 5 years long. Let's say that. I miss Kamala. Where is her and her silk press at? I miss her. I want to hug her. We got so much Tony Goodwin and Kerry Washington content from the election. I miss it. I want them back together. But yeah, 2024 was crazy, and I can't believe we all made it out with some sort of sanity. But there's so many topics and so many things I need to talk about from 2024 that I'm just like, do I even want to dig it back up? I've already had one request for the Diddy stuff, so y'all, I gotta research. I have to research things like that so I can really get into the nitty gritty. So that'll probably be like in February. I'm probably gonna talk about that. because I want to do deep dive episodes when it's stuff like that. I have another deep dive episode on some talk stuff I want to get into. I'm looking at all the list of things and I'm like, oh my God, there's so many things I want to talk to you guys about. 2024 was crazy. I promise I'm not going to leave you guys like this again because now I'm playing catch up. We're going to end this wild ride of an episode here, get into the song of the week. Y'all, I know this episode was all over the place. The next episode is going to have so much more structure to it. I just need to get out and vent and talk about what has been going on the past year so you guys can know where I'm at, know where the podcast is headed. So yes, if this episode felt like it was all over the place, I'm so sorry. It's not going to be like that forever. We're getting back into the groove of things. I'm so happy if you are here listening and you made it this far. We're going to get into the song of the week and then, we'll be back next week. Okay, so this is the first song of the week all year. And there were so many to choose from. There's so much music that came out this year and so many things. So I'm going to pick a wild card and not pick. It's by No Worries, Anderson .Paak, and Knowledge. Such a good song. So there's this guy on YouTube. He does DJing and he does it for YouTube videos. They're called Sunday Cleaning. That is a series. And so I heard that on one of his Sunday cleaning videos, fell in love. I have been playing the hell out of the song. So Daydreaming by No Worries, Anderson .Paak, and Knowledge. It's so good. And also if you like to put on music on YouTube in the background and do things, that Sunday cleaning series on YouTube is so freaking good. It's one of my favorite ways to just get a bunch of stuff done and just have something on in the background. And he does a lot of hip hop, Afro beats, R&B, and then he just mixes it all together. So good. So you get a little double whammy for song of the week this week. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast episode. I can't wait to see what 2025 has in store for us. And I will see you guys next week.